What happens when the person everyone calls useless stops showing up? My father-in-law announced at Thanksgiving dinner that I was basically furniture in his daughter's life. Becca could replace you with a roommate and save money, he said, carving the turkey. My wife laughed. Her mother nodded. Even my brother-in-law's girlfriend, whom I'd just met, smirked into her wine glass. I set down my fork. You're absolutely right, Frank. The next morning, while Becca slept off her hangover, I withdrew exactly half our savings, packed my truck, and drove to my buddy Arvin's empty rental property 2 states over. Left my wedding ring on top of the divorce papers I'd had ready for 6 months. See, Frank wasn't wrong about me being furniture. I was the ottoman everyone put their feet on. The coat rack nobody noticed until it wasn't there. I handled Becca's family's taxes because I had nothing better to do. Fixed their cars because I liked tinkering anyway. Managed their rental properties for free because it's what family does. Day 4, Becca called the police to report me missing. They told her adults can leave whenever they want, especially when they leave divorce papers. She tried to access our joint account and discovered she didn't know any of the passwords I'd been managing for 8 years. The bank required both signatures for a reset. Good luck with that. Day 9, Frank's first rental tenant called about a flooded bathroom. Frank had no idea who the plumber was, what the lease terms were, or even where he kept the spare keys. I'd been handling his 3 properties for 5 years while he collected checks and called me useless. The damage hit $8,000 before he found someone to turn off the water main. Week 3, the IRS sent Becca's mom a letter about her incorrectly filed quarterly business taxes. Turns out, Furniture had been keeping her little craft business from getting audited for years by fixing her creative accounting. The penalties alone were $12,000. She hired an accountant who took one look at her books and tripled his rate. Week 5, my brother-in-law's car broke down on the highway. He'd been bringing it to me for free repairs since college, telling everyone he did his own maintenance. The shop quoted him $3,200 for work I'd been doing for the cost of parts and a beer. He had to sell his gaming setup to afford it. Month 2, Becca discovered I'd been the one making her loan payments, scheduling her medical appointments, and somehow keeping her from getting fired by secretly fixing her work presentations at night while she slept. Her boss, assuming she'd suddenly gotten lazy, put her on a performance review. She missed 3 client meetings because I wasn't there to remind her. They let her go in week 8. Frank's empire crumbled fastest. His tenants started calling him directly about every minor issue. The city fined him for 6 code violations I'd been quietly handling. His property taxes were wrong because he didn't know about the exemptions I'd been filing. By month 3, he was underwater on all 3 properties and begging the bank for extensions. Meanwhile, I was learning woodworking at the local makerspace, dating a woman named Carmen, who thanked me for cooking dinner, starting a property management company with Arvin that actually paid me for my expertise, sleeping through entire nights without someone shaking me awake to find their phone that was right there on the nightstand. Becca found me through my new LLC filing, sent a long text about how her family finally understood my value. Frank couldn't stop talking about needing me back, how she'd gone to therapy and realized she'd been treating me like staff, not a spouse, how her mother had actually cried when she calculated how much free work I'd done over the years, roughly $200,000 if they'd hired professionals. I texted back a photo of my new business card, not furniture, property management and consulting. Minimum contract, $5,000 per month. Frank called immediately, started yelling about family and obligation and how dare I charge them. I let him rant for 30 seconds, then said, "Sorry, Frank, this furniture's been reupholstered. It doesn't come free anymore." He's left 19 voicemails since then, each one more desperate than the last. The latest one, he actually used the word please. Carmen says I should frame it. I'm thinking about it.